Big Natural Stoney Keeley here, the editor-in-chief at SoBrosNetwork.com. We've got a new feature for our YouTube channel that we've been wanting to launch for a while. Nashville hot chicken reviews. People wanted more Nashville lifestyle. We're working out ways that we can give it to them. Okay, this was something that we put on our vision board last December, I believe. It was a Q1 goal. Set a date, nobody could make it. Pushed it back to Q2. Set a date, nobody could make it. I believe that happened at least 3 times. And we finally get to Q3. It's on the list again. And I'm telling the team, like, if we don't do it this quarter, we just ain't going to do it. We're just never going to launch this franchise. It's just doomed from the get-go. So it is, we literally have like days to spare in quarter 3. What, like 4 days. And I'm like, if I have to do this myself, I'm going to do it. That's the grand birth of Nashville hot chicken reviews on SoBros Network. That's SoBros. Now, the original idea was to start with Prince's because every good Nashvilleian knows Prince's Hot Chicken is where the Nashville hot chicken craze started in earnest. Couldn't make that happen. That was the original plan. That was the date that kept getting pushed back because nobody could come. So Party Fowl, known for its location down in the Gulch, downtown Nashville, opened up a location in Donelson recently. So from a logistics standpoint, it made it pretty easy for us to get together and just go review this hot chicken. And because I'm so desperate to cross this bitch off our vision board for 2018, and yeah, I'm a big time vision board guy, we thought, hey, this would be pretty easy for us to pull off. It's a popular hot chicken joint in town, so let's just go for it. So I set the date, set the time, showed up. Herbie Brooks, friend of the site, Lady Preds, Mrs. Herbie Brooks, showed up with me, and we enjoyed ourselves some hot chicken. So with that in mind, let's get this show on the road. The location of this Party Fowl is phenomenal. I mean, for those of us east of town that don't want to drive into Nashville to get hot chicken, it's the perfect spot. I mean, those spots are few and far between out here. So the location is great. I mean, it's a fun spot. They've got a big bar. They're known for their boozy slushes. They're known for their boozy slushies, you know what I'm saying? But the building itself is massive. I mean, it's a 2-story complex. They've got a huge patio out front. And it looks like a great place to maybe post up on a Saturday or Sunday and watch some football. It's so big. It's like the fucking prison from The Walking Dead. I mean, that's what this place reminded me of. It's kind of tricky to park. I would definitely take points off of their location score because of that. They don't have a big parking lot out front, maybe 10 spots, if that. And if you can't get one of those spots, you have to park across the street and walk. And even that parking lot is kind of small for such a large place. I mean, imagine having, a small parking lot for the prison at The Walking Dead. But for the most part, I like that this location is out of downtown. It's east of town in Donelson. I wrote about Donelson booming right now on SoBrosNetwork.com. So overall, I like the location. They've got a huge neon sign coming up the hill right there at Lebanon Pike where McNamara's is at, just past the Donelson Pike interchange. And then you go up the hill and down and you just see this massive lit up sign. You can't miss it. If you are within a 15-mile radius of Donelson, Tennessee, you're going to see this Party Fowl sign. So I go in, I'm making my notes for my review, just writing it down on my hand, as many good journalists do. I'm making notes about the atmosphere. I like it. It's a nicely decorated place. It's got a very Nashville vibe. Talking hot chicken spots with friends on Twitter, a lot of people call Party Fowl like a tourist trap. And you kind of get that vibe when you walk in, just a little bit. I'm a big time beer guy. Taking a look at Party Fowl's beer list, it's a pretty good list. You'd be hard pressed to not find something that you like on there. I'm a big fan of Little Harpeth's Chicken Scratch. Anywhere I see that on tap, I'm going to get a pint. Tonight I wanted to go with something different. Also, my waitress handed me the beer list and then stood there waiting for me, which I appreciated, so that I wasn't having to wait to get my beer forever. But at the same time, there's a lot of pressure. I'm thinking, I don't want chicken scratch. I want to do something different because I'm doing a review. I don't know what to do. I go with Tennessee Brew Works Southern Wit, which is good. It's kind of the same vein as like a Blue Moon Shock Top, but better. Herbie went with the old reliable Yazoo Gerst. Shout out to Gerst House, R.I.P. It's a thing Catholics do. I don't know. I miss the Gerst House. I haven't had a good stroganoff since, if you know what I mean. Thought Herbie made a good choice there. Party Fowl actually does this thing where you get to keep the little magnets at the bottom of your pint glass. And if you spell out Party Fowl with the letters, you get some goodies. So I thought that was a pretty neat little touch. To go there quite a bit. I mean, you're rolling the dice. You don't know what you're going to get. I got 2 W's tonight. I only kept one of them for obvious reasons, but just saying. So had a couple beers. Seems like a pretty decent beer spot. Recurring theme you're going to hear throughout this review is the price. I mean, it's not cheap. You're not going to go to this place, have a couple beers, spend $10 and get out of there. So if you're looking for just a beer spot, I would recommend Homegrown in the area. Go get a couple draft beers, decent price, and get on home. But that's not the ideal experience at Party Fowl. I started with Appetizers. I don't think I've ever been to Party Fowl and not ordered grit cakes. Okay, these things are good. I mean, they come out piping hot. You got the raspberry jalapeno jam or whatever with it. Spread it over. It's goodness. This tastes like what the fancy Southerners eat. It's got a great texture, great flavor. It's the perfect appetizer. I mean, this thing, it's pretty filling too. So you get one of these things in your belly and it is just a great base. It's a great base for a good meal. I got Nashville hot chicken tenders. I like a good tender meal, fork and knife, cut them up, dip them in the ranch. This is good. Give me a side of fries, some pickles, coleslaw. I'm set. I went with the Nashville hot flavor. Usually go medium, but since I'm doing the review, I thought, well, step it up a notch. Herbie Brooks gets the medium tenders with the chips that are fried in bacon grease or something like that. It's good. Really good side. He liked his tenders. Mrs. Herbie Brooks, Lady Preds. Shout out to Lady Preds. Got to shout out Lady Preds every chance I get. Gets the hot chicken po' boy. And it looked pretty good. But because I'm actually, even though I call myself a really good journalist, I'm actually a really shitty journalist. I forgot to get their actual ratings for the dinner out of 10. So, really boned that one over. As for my tenders, I thought it was a good flavor. The heat was not unbearable. They weren't overly greasy. You get that at some of these hot chicken joints where you pick the tender up or you cut it and it just, the breading falls off with grease or it's just dripping grease. The tenders were just a tad tough, little sinewy, if you will. They weren't really easy to cut. I more or less kind of pulled pieces of the tender apart. So I wasn't really impressed by the consistency. As for the seasoning, I thought it was flavorful enough. I mean, it was the Nashville hot chicken taste. It wasn't buffalo sauce like you encounter some places that say they have Nashville hot chicken. It wasn't a dipping sauce. I mean, it was a seasoning that was blended into the breading, deep fried, served to me. The fries are to die for. That's what I love. I love the thin, crispy fries, some salt dumped on them, that you dig in with the fork and then just dip them in your ranch. Helps cool it off, helps you pace yourself through the heat. I had one solitary pickle chip on my bed of hot chicken. Party Fowl gave me one pickle and I saved it for the end of the meal. Didn't have that tanginess throughout, so it affected the score. I'm not going to lie. As for the portions were great. It was a giant plate, at least 4 tenders served on a bread of Texas toast. a basket full of fries on top of a couple of grit cakes that I ate. So, I mean, I got to the end of my meal and I felt very satisfied. I was in a great place. Any more and I'd be miserable right now. Any less and I would have been ordering, to-go tenders or something. So that's 3 things I think they nailed with the hot chicken there. The portions, the wetness, is that how we're going to describe this? It wasn't too greasy, but it wasn't dry. And the fries. The fries were delicious. They missed on the coleslaw. They missed on the pickles. And honestly, the flavor, though it was good, it was just average hot chicken flavor. There wasn't anything unique about the hot chicken. So I came away from it saying, yeah, I understand why people think this is a tourist trap. But what you're getting is the fun Nashville vibe. Full transparency. I had 3 beers tonight, an order of chicken tenders, and an order of grit cakes. And I spent $50. Tip included. Tip and tax included. It was like 48 to be exact, if I'm not mistaken. So, this is why it's going to get that reputation as a tourist trap. Because anybody that comes in and tries the chicken that's from Nashville, that considers themselves a Nashville hot chicken connoisseur, is going to come in and they're going to say, oh, this tastes like all the other hot chicken in town. So as for the value, I can't give it a good score in good conscience. And I don't mean to discourage anybody from going to Party Fowl, because it's a fun spot. It's a fun spot. And ultimately everybody needs to make up their own mind. But by the same token, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be transparent. This is a place that's reserved for like special occasions. Families in town. We're going to take them to Party Fowl so they can get the hot chicken. They can get the Nashville experience, so on and so forth. As far as the meal overall, from Southern Wit on tap to main dish, to paying my tab and walking out the door, it's a good meal. It is. It's expensive. Probably wouldn't go there that often. But sitting there with the grit cakes are delicious. They're otherworldly. That's something, if you can find anywhere else in Nashville, please let me know. Because I haven't found it yet. And it's good. It's a really good app. Decent enough hot chicken. You're going to leave full. But you're going to pay for it. That said, I think this is a thumbs up on the overall meal. But we're not here to grade the meal. We're here to review the Nashville hot chicken. So the Nashville hot chicken, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10. I would give it slightly above average because they do have the wetness down. And they got the flavor right. It's not going to be anything above and beyond, but they got it right. This is not a bad hot chicken at all. I've had worse. I have had worse that has left me, I don't want to name places because they might end up on the review list later, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But opening up spots in the Gulch, Donelson, Murfreesboro, I do encourage people to go check this spot out because it has a huge following in Nashville. And get the grit cakes. For the love of God, get the grit cakes. If that's the only thing you take away from this review, go to Party Fowl and get the grit cakes. Go to fucking Party Fowl and get the fucking grit cakes. All right, well, I look forward to doing more of these in the future with the SoBros team, different format, probably more man on the street stuff like we did Chattanooga week. If you remember that, you follow us on Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. If you can't get the Nashville hot chicken, I hope you're getting the Nashville hot dickin'. Was that a good sign-off line? Big Natural Stoney Keeley. You can follow me on Twitter at Stoney Keeley. Follow us collectively at SoBros Network. SoBrosNetwork.com. Bye.